Okay, funny story. A couple of years ago, I had a mentor, and it's fascinating to look back on that particular mentorship, knowing what I know now, right, about human design and trauma and just everything, and how we triggered each other. Neither of us were in a position to express our discomfort in a healthy way. So just like the way that that particular ship sank, it went out. Well, it's one for the books. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Um, where was I going with this? Already, I lost my train of thought. Um, oh yeah, she made a few comments to me throughout our mentorship, and a lot of the times whenever she told me things, she foresaw things, right? She said it in a way that made it sound like this is the way it's going to go. And it's like she said it with this tone that made me be like, says who? You? Like, sweetheart, you're not the creator of my life. But when we're in relationship, right, with another person, we are co-creating together. So them planting certain seeds into my reality, into my mind is very powerful. So is yours, by the way. It festered. It spread like a cancer, right? She made some comments about things that I said, the way that I said things, the way that I present myself. And one note on that is I look back on that and I'm like, I was presenting myself authentically. Like I was embodying my design. What about that made you uncomfortable, right? I show up very provocatively sometimes. I liken to that to some of my Scorpio placements as well as my unconscious design Chiron placement. I don't have it normally in my chart. So if you look at my normal body graph, it's not going to show there. But if you factor in the Chiron, right, it's 39, which would connect to my 55, 55.5 specifically, just in case you were wondering, is my unconscious design Venus, which in the gene keys is your sphere of SQ. That's like your spiritual quotient, right? That's developed between the ages of 0 and 7. It's very much like when I think about my inner child, like my true, authentic, completely unmasked inner child, that is the gene key that I play in. The sphere, the bubble that I'm in, right? Anyway, so she said something, and I actually wrote an article, a story about it on the Revolution. I'll put in the comments below like which one to search for if you want to read it. I think it's literally the pictures. You can search for that, and then you can also see dead ass, which, right? I know some of you like that. Um, but she made a comment, right, about how me showing up in certain ways it might not come across in the way that I intended to. People may not respond to it in the way that I am expecting, that I want, like, etc., etc. And I'm sitting here, right? Let's see, a year later, 2 years after I really started like thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like this is my role. This is where I'm going. My G center knows exactly where I'm going. Human design, again. But I can see how me showing up in the way that I did without the confidence in being able to speak about what it is I'm actually doing, it was misinterpreted. It triggered people. They reacted to me. They reacted to me. That's fascinating. Okay. Reaction is the shadow of gene key 49. 49 is the placement that I have in my core wound / vocation. It's also, fun fact, my conscious personality moon. So the tie in there is fascinating. So sometimes when people react to me, they're reacting to how I am in my vocation. Their reaction says more about them than it does about me. They are in their shadows. However, them being in their shadows is an invitation for me to pause and consider, Emily, are you in your shadows anywhere? Is there something that needs to be addressed? Sometimes I go straight down, connect the core wound to the sphere of IQ, which is developed between the ages of 15 and 21. That for me is 45.3 specifically. The 0.3 in that particular sphere represents having a flexible mind, which I think is a fun little layer to the fact that I've got the defined crown and ajna, right? Like I have a very, very consistent way of thinking, right? My mind is set, but it can be refined based on things that come into my awareness, right? I only know my perspective. Share with me yours. That's going to change how I move, right? It's going to narrow my focus a little bit. But anyway, I digress. 45. And I don't mean 45 as in DJT, right? Although if you add that layer into that, fascinating things happen. But 45, the gene key. The shadow is dominance. I find that fascinating, particularly considering the pillars of my business and the way that I construct things, right? Body, design, synergy, movement. Connect the dots. With love. Kai. Just kidding. You know who I am.